Hello there, welcome to Waynecast. I think it's 58. Probably wrong, I usually am. It's been an interesting time for sort of the right and the wrong reasons the last 7 days or so. On the plus side, I started, I'm saying I started, it was a model that the base mesh was from a game Glenn Southern and myself were working on, and Salvation's Prophecy, and Glenn ended up doing the majority of it, like 99% or something, because it was more his sort of style. And he came up with this sort of creature base. It was called the Dungeon Elite. Well, that's the reason why I changed the name from that, is because if I put the Dungeon Elite, people might think, oh, thought it was fucking excellent or something. So I just put it called Dungeon Creature or Dungeon Monster. The game had wanted it to basically like more cartoony, not very scary version, and we both looked at it and thought this base it's got legs. Well, actually it's got 4 legs and 2 front arms, which also legs, so it's got lots of legs, but really it's got potential. So I had a bit of a mess around and asked Glenn if he minded if I post it and stuff. He says, oh, feel free, it's old, I changed a few things, I changed the head over a bit, ripped the jaw off and changed some of the legs a bit, not a whole lot, but enough to make it a different creature, enough to make sure you don't get sued, right? So I had a bit of a mess around, over a couple of nights, just relaxation stuff, and I posted it online. And inside of 24 hours, I got contacted by Nvidia saying, could we use that please for some tech demos at GDC, Game Developers Conference, which is in San Francisco this year. I had a chance to be there, do a masterclass, but unfortunately, with baby being due around then, it would have been stupid, to say the least. So I had to finish it all off in one night, right? Which is a tall order because there was a lot of work left to do. So I had to do a version. Then it turned out that they'd actually fucked up. One of the guys, and they needed something with thicker legs. So I said, well, no, there's no problem. Right? I'll just keep that one and do the stuff with it. I said, do you want another one? I'll design you one. I'm always messing around. So give us about 4 days a week. I'll come up with an idea for you. So I'm on thinking for that. I've got this sort of stone troll thing in my head. I had a bit of mess around, but see, I don't think it's complex enough. It's a very simple shape. There's not a lot of sculpt in there, but it looks very nice. But again, nowadays people want lots of wiggly bits, don't they? So I've been continuing on with it. I've taken those texture maps. I haven't done anything to them since then. And it's now rendering out upstairs. Now, some of you, if you've seen it online, you'll know that it was rendered out with Mental Ray. Now, beautiful lighting setup. Took a while to, really set it up nicely. And for some reason tonight, actually this afternoon, maybe it might have been over, and he had his laptop with him. And he always has different bits of software due to his job, that he's got to, there's lots of stuff that the company he works for tests and, has. Then a copy of V-Ray. I haven't used V-Ray for bloody donkey's years. I just said, look, the only chance I can, you can leave the laptop here tomorrow. And this happened, he was off for a few days, at the country. I said, yeah. So, it's upstairs, rendering out a total V-Ray setup, V-Ray shaders, V-Ray lights, the whole bloody lot. Because, I haven't got the money right now to buy a copy of V-Ray. Right? So, we'll see what turns out. So far, the render is looking pretty decent indeed, before any post work. I've also rendered out a load of passes as well. It's on doing. It's going to take about another 20 minutes, and then I want to do a large either 1280 or 2K version as well, because Autodesk are interested in using it for publicity material as well. So you'll see them. You're going to see that monster some way. It may be on a disc with something, not quite sure yet. So yeah, there's all that sort of stuff been going on. Bittersweet because, well, really, there's like Dave Cordell himself, I've been handling him officially and me as sort of, advisor, unofficial mudbox guru. That's other people's words, not mine. Look, let's face it, I am, right? I won't have to get used to saying that. Look, it really sounds a bit big-headed, but anyway, we've been basically doing what we could all over the net, for Mudbox. The publicity was basically lacking from Autodesk when it came out. And it's fair to say that Dave himself, with a bit of help from Andrew Kamenish from Autodesk and stuff, have basically kept Mudbox in the public eye. Obviously it's Dave's job, but for me it's because what I don't like is when I see people purposely telling lies. Now, some of you will have seen the wall of silence that greeted the video I did, about a month back? That everybody was saying, oh, ZBrush can still get higher polygon count, and nobody actually bloody tested it, right? Until I did, and put it in a head-to-head test and proved that Mudbox actually wins hands down, right? And instead of people saying, oh, sorry, we didn't know that, it was greeted by a wall of silence. Because, as you know, I've got background with ZBrush uber fanboys. The one, not the normal people who like ZBrush, not even the fanboys. I'm more about the bloody crazy buggers, right? That send, hate mail. So I sort of expected it, and I thought, well, I'm not going to go too far into that territory. But again, it started winding me up when I saw people, the same sort of 5 or 10 faces online, saying the same comments that were untrue. And no matter how much you pointed out to them that they were telling lies, right? That's what meant to words. They were telling fucking lies. They wouldn't change this. And all it takes is a handful of very vocal people in 3D on forums to kill anything. And I wasn't about to have that, because Mudbox is the best thing out there. Right? And it has the potential to be an absolute world beater, especially when you know what's around the corner. So I sort of lost the plot slightly in a CG talk thread. I maybe went a little bit over the top. I'm the first to admit that. But I don't like people. It drives me crazy when people tell lies. It really does. I think I made the point. Maybe a bit overzealously. The first to admit that. But I think, bearing in mind some of the crap I've had to put up with over the years, it's amazing I haven't actually went mental before now. Although it was just me getting a bit angry, or a lot angry. Only 1% of that comes across in the post, of course. But so now I'm sort of like pulling back more. I was on the phone to Dave. Actually, Dave Carver was on the phone to me tonight for an hour, and we're having a chat about other stuff that'll I can't say anything about, but it's very interesting. Put it that way. And we got talking about a lot of that, and I said to him, I said, I've came to the conclusion after that, that I thought, well, I really shouldn't have made that post. That actions speak louder than words, so that's my intention now. Let's prove through action exactly what Mudbox is capable of. So that's the general idea. There's lots of stuff in the phone call I can't tell you, and in fact 99.9% of it. Something very interesting will come from this, but that's all I'm going to say. So it's been a crazy old week. Let's see what the time is. Oh, another 2 minutes, so I'll have to wind this section up and go into section 2. I hate waiting for renders. V-Ray is sort of faster, because that's the original model in Mudbox was nearly 11 million. Now 11 million polygons, when you're doing 32-bit displacement, it's got to sort of tessellate to about that level, roughly, right? And that's a lot, even for a 64-bit machine. So it's grinding, and that drives me crazy because I've done fuck all tonight. I want to get a couple of videos done. Anyway, I'll talk more about quick start videos and etc. and things like that in part 2. See you in a minute.